Hey, what's going on YouTube? Here we got the dollar again. This time it broke out, right, after 4 weeks and came back into support today and bounced. So you always see this bullish retracement on a breakout. If you miss the breakout, you can always catch it on the backside as it comes back into support, and those are usually your best buys. So in other words, the dollar is still bullish on the daily. And now we're just breaking out of the 34 SMA on the weekly, so looks pretty tight on the upside. The monthly, you can see it's breaking above previous highs, and you can see now the wick is coming back into support as it broke previous month high. So it does look bullish. This ultimately on a monthly chart looks like the beginnings of a reverse head and shoulders, as the monthly chart came back in to the 34 SMA and missed its target. So I call that double bullish, right? It didn't come back to its natural course of return. It missed its mark and turned around on a dime. But anything could happen. But right now it looks like a left shoulder ahead, and then look for a spike into 100 area, and then maybe a U to come back and break all-time highs 100. Not all-time actually, but from these previous highs. So that's what I see for the dollar in the future, but that's only because everything else is going down, right? The dollar is only compared to everything else, and looks pretty weak overall. S&P looks like we got a bearish pattern forming on a daily. That's a 2-bar pattern. So you got a break up and then a break down. Nothing's confirmed yet until it closes below previous lows, but right now that's a bullish pattern. We do have a hanging man there, and see what happens. We can always just have this thing turn around and break previous highs, flat top break at 2170, and again we are above the support of the EMA 8. So far for the week, looks like maybe a falling star forming. See how tomorrow ends up. But so pay attention to the weekly closes, because they are very important. Here's the bond, 10-year yield. This looks like a falling star if we didn't have these support lines in. What I mean is, if this pattern would have shown up on a top up in these regions, then we call it a falling star. But right now what we have here is a reverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, pop above, back into support, pop back into support. So what I'm going to call this, unless it breaks down, I'm calling this an inverted hammer, and look for previous high breaks at 160. That's a classic inverted hammer right over support. But for the longer term, again, these things are not looking nice at all. You can see the break into resistance as it got stopped out. But this is a bullish 2-bar pattern here, encompassing the whole previous candle. The reason for the knockback is not because of my EMA 8 and 13, but it's breaking in the previous lows. So The EMA 8 is only my indication where the previous lows are and where it needs to close above to start moving past previous lows and breaking into previous or breaking above EMA 13 and between the 34 is where I want price. But right now, on a weekly, it's still bearish, as price just got knocked back today and for the whole week, right? It's a weekly chart. Deutsche Bank. There's the price between 34 and the EMAs. It did break above previous highs, got stomped out and closed it down. So I'm in the air whether or not this is going to come down on a daily. But price is stuck between that moving averages on a daily. So watch the price squeeze, as right now we're working with higher lows, have not closed on the weekly chart above the EMA 8 yet. So that would be the first signal as price closes above previous lows. Ultimately, I'd like to see the price in between the EMAs and the SMA. As price gets pinched between support and resistance, and then pops. But right now, Deutsche Bank is bearish on a weekly chart so far. It's nothing doing about bullishness at all. As you can see, the trend of the SMA, the ultimate trend that we want to break above, is pointing down. The regular trends are pointing down. Price is below everything. So it's bearish. Aside from the lower highs, but we do need to close above to get any kind of support. The German bond, look, it's trading like a penny stock. Today we're down 150%. What a joke. Don't know what to say. Same thing as the 10-year yield. The German bond broke out and then closed inside. So we are working with an inverted hammer again. We are consolidating above the 34 SMA on a daily. So daily's bullish, okay, but weekly again does not fare too well, as price got knocked back and closed below the EMA 8. As price wants to go above into previous lows, it gets knocked back. But on a weekly, this is a bullish pattern, bullish encompassing outside day, any way you want to phrase it. So for the week, it's still bearish. Here's crude. Crude is still working that down where we broke down. Kept going, broke down, bearish retraced, made a spike, and now we're trying to get above. Closing at support, which is previous lows, but keeps getting knocked back from previous lows. So right now we got support, but it's already fallen through once. So I believe it could turn bullish on a daily chart, but on the weekly we are going to be coming down. For the week we are putting in a bullish 2-bar pattern here. Breaking previous lows, could see 40, no problem. I believe that I keep saying that I want to get to previous highs between this previous high and this previous low, so between 41 and 42. Still sticking with my story. We are working with this nasty falling star, and price is following. Gold, nice bounce. Confirmed we were at support. Looks like it still wants to run. Looks like the next day opened already. I'm not sure yet though. You can see the trend line here. You can see the break line. Well, you can see the trend line here. You can see price shoot back into the 34 SMA, get knocked back, and then the breakdown. You can see the breakdown, and then the accumulation, and you can see that accumulation by that hammer that went in. And I believe I posted in the group on the channel comment section. Right about here is where I said I wish I can buy a gold contract and see what happens. So look what happens when you break a reversal bar previous high. So once it broke previous high of this candle, then you confirm this candle. That candle is a hammer knocking out the bottom. So that's exactly what happened, and I wish I would have had a contract. So whatever. I believe that's a 5-hour chart. Yeah, 5-hour chart. So for the day, you can see that support that hit and bounced. Now we are on the downside between the 34 and the EMAs, the 8 and the 13. So watch price. We're not out of the woods yet. We did get a nice bounce, but watch out, as if we don't close the week above in this area on a daily, we could very well see another test of support, which was, let's just call it 13. But the SMA held pretty well. SMA 34. That's a bullish piercing pattern, though. I mean, it should keep going on the upside if momentum keeps. It looks like it wants to move up. Let's see what's happening on the shorter term. You can see the reverse head and shoulders. You can see the break into resistance, back into support, and then a opposing point. This is where I said watch out for the opposing points. The chart needs an opposing point because V bottoms hardly ever work out. So here's an opposing point, and then you would have took this previous high break and took a ride. That would have been awesome. Pretty cool. But we do have a reversal bars here. We got plenty of support on the way down though, and it looks like it wants to shoot back up. So we'll see what happens. Come back to that in a minute, see where we're at. Silver, we are not working with a falling star anymore. Hopefully we can get some more push out of it for tomorrow. 5-hour chart, let's go down a little bit. You can see the bounce. You can see the peak, the meandering sideways action right over the 34, breakdown, break up, and then the bearish candle 2-bar pattern as it meandered all the way across the 34, breaking previous lows, and then here's the bearish retracement there, breakdown. So right now we're still in a bearish retracement, but we do have a reverse head and shoulders working. So let's get above 34 and stop bearish retracing on silver. The daily, you can see that now, support held. I wouldn't be surprised if they took this back down to major support, which is 1850 previous lows. But right now we're doing good. We're not out of the woods because we have not closed above the EMA 8. So this could keep coming down, so be careful. The volatility is in, and this is what they all warned us about. Mining mining stocks are the most speculative, but also the most fun, so you gotta take it. For the week on silver, we need to close above previous highs, which is, let's get above 20. Let's get another push out of this tomorrow. Let's get out of the woods. Let's close above support. Right now, on a 5-hour, we're not looking too good, as 20 is right there where the SMA 34 is. It's kind of funny how that works, but that's why I use these lines, and you'll never change my mind. Copper. I posted an interview in yesterday's comment section with Greg Hunter and Turd Ferguson. Excellent interview. Now, what he says, if copper breaks out, silver's going to follow with it. So let's get copper moving on the upside. Let's see what copper can do. It's one hell of a ride. It did very good on its recovery, as we've been following it ever since it came down, did a reverse head and shoulders, popped, and then thought maybe, oh, it's all over for copper, but no, it did a bullish piercing pattern and it kept. And then here's your best buy right here, the bullish retracement right over the 34, where the EMA 8 and the 13 were crossing at the same time. Best buy ever, where it makes a big price splash over the EMAs. And there we go. It's bullish. I don't know what it's holding on to. In my opinion, it should have broke out already. I think we can get to 250, right? Right around, oh, let's say. Previous low is at 240. So let's get to 240 first, counter chickens, and then hope for more eggs. As we can probably get to 260, I think, on a month time frame. That would be pretty big breakout for copper. Weekly is shaping up. The daily has been just atrocious for a long time. Well, no, the daily has always been pretty good. The weekly we had to shape up, and now it is. But the monthly, we still got a lot of work to do. But you can see how that flat top break is coming in right over the 34 previous lows on a monthly chart. I think that 250 to 260 is very approachable on copper. Again, if copper breaks out, let's watch silver and see if we can get the two running together. Because silver's lagging gold, and copper is lagging silver. So let's get them all moving, and then we can see some really fluent price action in the mining. That's what I think. Let's move on to Nugget. Again, support was confirmed on the SMA 34, and if you don't want to use the SMA 34, you can easily see that support held. You can see the reverse head and shoulders, right? In my opinion, I think this broke down, filled that gap, and that gap was our major support. Filled the gap and then bounced. Again, watch out, because we are below the EMA 8. The trend is intact by staying above the SMA 34, but we need to get above the EMA 8 on a weekly close. That's a daily. And we did it. We're above the EMA 8 on a weekly close. Nice bounce. Again, though, on the daily, going back to the daily, be careful of the volatility on the daily, as price is pinched between support and resistance now. Okay, so wait, be patient. If you're not in it, be patient. Watch a pattern form, some kind of a pattern, and maybe watch that flat top break. And again, the volatility is in, so be careful, as this bounce could be just a bounce, and then price can go lower. So always be cognizant of that, as we are not out of the woods yet. We need to get above the EMAs, which are previous lows, believe it or not. And we did get stopped out at the gap. So we are below resistance on the intermediate time frames. We bounced off the support. So ultimately we're in this gap, filling in the gaps. Whether it goes up and down, right now I'm bullish because the SMA is pointing straight up, but we are below the EMA. And we got stopped out at resistance. So look for prices to move above this gap on a daily chart. If it moves above, closes on a 60-minute chart for more than an hour maybe, take a ride. JNUG, again, support was right there. And you can see the reverse head and shoulders. You can see the gap being filled. But on JNUG, that gap, top resistance, did not hold it back at all. It just came up. That 2-bar pattern is pretty bullish, but again, we are below, and we're below resistance. So anything can happen. That we could have had this huge bounce, but then tomorrow it'll just collapse. You never know what's going to happen. So be careful until we get above support. That was JNUG. This really... Oh, GDX. Same thing. We're in that price pinch. I like to trade when... well, I don't like to trade when I don't know what's going to happen, but when I see price between SMA 34 and EMAs on the upside, I wait for that flat top break, or I can go back into support and make my buys. So this is a perfect spot for anyone looking to find an entry. Just be careful that this can just fall apart at any time, but be aware as price pops above resistance, you can get a thrust of price action across the EMAs. Just like kind of like this one came into support and popped. This one moved below and popped right across those EMAs. So if time and these patterns are a clue, look at price come below the EMAs and then pop right across both of them, gapped right across both of them, and then did it again, boom. And then it wrote it, came across, maybe we can get across again, a gap punch across 30. That would be awesome. Something to watch. GDXJ, same thing. Didn't fill the gap, but sure as heck bounced pretty hard. It was a great bounce. We need to get a little bit better bounce though to carry into next week and to finish off the month. For the week, I think we're still bearish. Yeah, that's still bearish, but you can see the bounce. You can see the bounce. If you bought into support, you are a fabulous trader. Otherwise, wait for a flat top break. Probably wait until 50. Probably don't want to trade in the range, as you'll get shooken out and pushed around. So wait for that flat top break if you're not in it. And what a nice bounce, breaking in the previous lows, holding previous highs. A nice bounce. That's all I can say. But I got a 3-bar pattern though, still working. Bearish 3-bar pattern though. This top, spinning top. So let's do good. Let's finish out the month and get some legs. I mean, it just broke out on a monthly chart, so I don't think that it's going to come all the way back into support, but anything can happen on a monthly chart. Anything can happen. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for all your questions, comments. You guys are great. Thank you all for the support and encouragement. Appreciate that. And I'm glad you guys are all learning something. As complicated as this stuff can be, I'm just using 3 lines and some candlesticks. And not to devalue my lines, because these are magic, in my opinion. I can look at a chart right away and tell where it's at with just 3 lines. And then I watch for the reversal bars, and I take a ride when those reversal bars are confirmed. So easy, not really, but you get the picture. It could be simple. I've watched lots of analysts, just mind-blowing different things thrown at you, and in my opinion, when you gather all the evidence and they're telling you how great of a system it is, if it's complicated, it can't be that accurate. So just throwing it out there. That's it, guys. Thank you. Please donate if you can, using my PayPal donation button on the channel. Buy some Bitgold if you can. Get an account. It's only 3 easy steps. Get yourself on a gold standard. Things are not looking good out there, as the new election is coming. I think they're just propping it up as long as they can, and whoever the next president is going to have a lot of work to do, I think. So there you go, guys. I appreciate you, and have a great one. See ya.